Alright, what is up, guys? Luthier here with another snake replay, and this time I'm going to be doing something a bit different. Especially after last week's timeout, I wanted to start playing my game outside of the recording and then like give a replay analysis after. And I think that might be working out better. I don't know. I don't know. I decided to go with something different this week, and just wanted to figure out what's going on there. But anyways, let me just show you what I was bringing. Anyway, so we got a banned food team. So I noticed that BurntZebra didn't really like bringing a lot of ghost type stuff. Just like in general, stuff that gets, roped by Mianfu, Banfu stuff. And then Banfu plus Vullaby plus Screech Diglett. And this Vullaby is Nasty Plot. So I thought it was very interesting. Like a little cool core to build around, and I've never built around it, so I just wanted to try it out. And then we got that paired with, just like Poniard, just to make the matchup versus like Ghastly a little better. And then we got HP Fire Fungus and like Defensive Staryu. And Defensive Staryu is nice because it gives that utility with T-Wave, and although you could be using offensive with T-Wave, I like defensive a lot better. It also makes matchup versus stuff like Vullaby Onyx a lot nicer too. So that's why I wanted to go with the defensive Staryu, and then that's basically the team I brought. Nothing really insane, but a little more dulled down from what I normally bring. But anyway, so let me just explain the matchup off of preview. Yeah, so there was a Ghastly on the team, and that is like a big scare for me because usually with Ghastlys, it's really nice when they don't have one, because I can just start spamming high jump kicks and like make him get punished for staying in and whatnot. So yeah, which it really sucked that he brought that, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna complain, but this team is incredibly weak to Timber. So that was like something that was incredibly problematic for me. But yeah, so there's not much to really say at preview. All I want to do is like get rid of Spritzy, and then I can start winning with my Vullaby if I can set up somehow with that. Get up rocks, and I think like offensive Vullaby dies like 70% of the time after rocks to a +2 air slash. So like that's something I wanted to keep in mind when I was playing. But other thing that I was looking at with prep is like BurntZebra's team was like out of the playoffs at this point, so they really had nothing to play for. So I was expecting some pretty jank stuff coming out of it, but I didn't know exactly what. But this wasn't exactly jank. I guess he was like, I guess they're playing for like records and whatnot. But yeah, I couldn't really get a grasp on what he wanted to bring in. This isn't something he usually brings. Like, I don't see a lot of Ghastly usage from BurntZebra, but he brought it, and it worked out pretty well here. Like, I'm super weak Ghastly. But yeah, so I'm just going to lead off with my Mianfu here. And the reason I want to lead off with my Mianfu is if I got rid of the Vullaby, then it would have been really nice in the late game, because I didn't have to worry about getting the roll with Air Slash if rocks are up. But basically, let me show you the calcs here. But Mianfu custom set versus a Spritzy, that's going to be revealing that I would be doing 3 damage, right, with Choice Band. Whereas if I was not Choice Band, instead I was like Choice Scarf or something, I would be doing 2 HP most of the time. So I did not want to click U-turn on this first turn here, because I felt like it revealed way too much, and that's not something I wanted to do. So instead I just harded it into my Fungus here, as he just goes for the Protect. I don't really know what he was trying to scout for, but I do get on my Fungus here, and seeing that I do have HP Fire, like, I lose nothing by clicking Spore. So I just click Spore first turn as he protects, and then I click Spore again. I don't know what he was going for, but it's whatever. And then I really want to click HP Fire here, but like I don't want to reveal that for no reason. So instead I just go for the Sludge Bomb, which is whatever. Or sorry, no, I switch out into my Mianfu. And the reason I switch out into my Mianfu, is because it covers the 2 most likely plays that I thought he would make, which include the Vullaby and the Ferroseed. Now, at this point, he doesn't really know what type of Mianfu I am, simply because like you can't exactly tell I'm banned from preview or whatever. So yeah, and that's essentially why I went into my Mianfu, like, because it covered both the Vullaby and the Ferroseed. But he brings in Ghastly, so just in case if he's like something like Z Fairy, and he goes for that, I wanted to scout and act like I didn't know what the Ghastly was. So to make that play, I just go into, I just decided to go into my Staryu here. So and he brings in his Spritzy, which is fine, and this to me is another free Fungus, because like I could go Poniard, but that gives in his Timber, which I really do not want to do. So I just go into my Fungus here, and then he wakes up and goes for the Wish. Now, Wish is really annoying, but it is what it is, and because like there's no point in me clicking HP Fire here because he's just gonna heal up, and then I reveal HP Fire right on the Pharisee. So I just go for Spore, which is whatever. And then here, like this Fungus isn't really realistically beating Ghastly anyways, right? And doesn't beat anything but Spritzy, so it's really fine just for me to like toss this out to a knockoff. And I just click HP Fire, and this does a lot to the Pharisee. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but like my Fungus is going to be running 9 speed, and that's good for like outspeeding opposing Funguses. Also speed ties with some Pharisees, so that's whatever. As he goes for the knockoff now, here I want to get a bit aggressive. I want to veer away from like the more very super safe and logical play, and start to go into like the more aggressive, like 2018 Luthier kind of plays. So I don't see him ever giving up rocks like for free, because this is his only rocker, so this has to be rocks or whatever. I don't see him just like tossing out this Pharisee to rocks, so I decided to get a bit aggressive, go for a Spore, and I do catch the Volby, which is really nice, because Volby is pretty problematic to my team, especially if it's like Core Breaker or something to deal with Poniard. So yeah, that was a pretty nice play, and it worked out quite well. So this, he's just going to double into his Pharisee, and then I just doubled to my Mienfoo. And I know, again, like per the same logic, he's not just giving me his Pharisee. So I want to U-turn, as I do click the U-turn into the Spritzy. Now, the thing with Screech Diglett is I do beat Spritzy on a switch-in, like a free switch-in, like 87.5% of the time, especially after like a 3 HP U-turn. So I go into my Diglett, go for the Screech, as he goes for the Moonblast, which is whatever, and then he proceeds to win a bunch of 50-50s and get the rolls, which sucks because it makes me slightly weaker. Like I'll show you the rolls. Like I know I talked about this in like a video earlier on, but let's see. So Z move, and it's +2 defense or -2 defense, and it's protected or whatever, right? So it does 7 HP almost all the time, or not almost all the time, but like most of the time or whatever. And then I do get the 7 HP roll, but then I think I min-rolled the Earthquake. I'm not sure. Let me calculate, actually. I'm actually kind of curious. Oops. Nope. Yeah. And then not Z protected. Yeah. So, and then I get like a mid. Oh, no. I didn't even min-roll. Okay, never mind. I just got the regular rolls. But it is what it is. He got the 50-50, right? Which is fine. That actually kind of sucked for me because it made me weaker to Ghastly, because this thing has beat up, which deals with Ghastly. But either way, he does go for Moonblast, knocks out my Diglett, and that's is what it is. And then I just go into my U-turn, and at this point, I revealed the 3 damage HP on Spritzy, but like I don't see people usually calculating that anyway, so like I didn't expect him to know this was Banfu. But I did just U-turn because it was free, and then I get rid of the Spritzy, which is nice because this means I open up a pathway for Volby. So I bring in my Staryu here. Now, as you guys can see, I thought about this for like a long time, but Staryu let in Pharisee, but like everything else I went to, something else came in that I did not want to deal with. Like if I went into my Poniard, then there was a Timber that I did not want to deal with, and if I went into like Fungus, then there again like still a Ghastly that came in for free. And then if I went into my Volby, then he goes into Ghastly and then knocks me out with Thunderbolt if that's a set. So like the only thing I could do was like go into Staryu and like I don't know, I just try to pressure out the Pharisee that was going to coming in. So like I just went into Staryu, and he goes into Pharisee as I just go into Poniard because I want to get up my rocks or whatever, right? So at this point I just get up my rocks as he goes into Timber, and I'm trying to think like what the most expendable member on this team is. Like I can't toss out Poniard, I'm way too weak to Ghastly. Cannot toss out Mienfoo, it's great. I cannot toss out Staryu because it's my only way of speed control for the Ghastly, and then Volby's my win con, so I very begrudgingly toss out my Fungus here because Fungus is just in general nice, but it didn't do that much in the rest of the game. So just toss out my Fungus here to the Drain Punch, and at this point, like I wasn't very sure what my play was, because like if I went to Staryu, then I was like gonna be screaming like Z Psychic, but I couldn't be like bluffing a Z move because I already used a Z move on Diglett. I couldn't go into Poniard obviously, and then I didn't want to go into my Volby because I didn't want to reveal my nasty plot set yet. So I just go into my Mienfoo, and like Mienfoo knocks out Timber something like 75% of the time. He said he was like 15 defense, and I'm not sure if he actually was, but like let me just show you the calc on it. Like at that point I had to go for it. Not custom set, yeah, sure, custom set. Yeah, this knocks him out like 40% of the time, which is whatever. But like most people always are going to be going for a knockoff because again, you don't really know what the set is, right? So like I don't really think people are going to come in expecting this to be like a sort of like, you know, like Banfu. So he said like that it was Scarf, but it was like if I was Scarf, like I don't know, whatever. Like either way, like my play was just to go into Mienfu, and I like thought about it for a long time, and I was like praying he just gave the timber to me, but like he did, which was great. And I'm gonna be able to knock him out with a Banfu high jump kick, and he goes into Ghastly here. And like I didn't want to go into Staryu because again, speed control, I needed it for it. And, like I was forced to go into Ponder, which really sucked because like I knew like an HP fighting or HP fire or something of the sort was coming out, and like I didn't have any way of stopping it. So like I had to go into Ponder, and thankfully he was HP fire and not HP fighting because HP fighting would have knocked me out obviously. And at this point, I'm just like, it's not like I think I'm gonna lose. Like winning is still a very realistic possibility, but like I just didn't know what the exact play was at this point. So instead, I just click Sucker Punch, just like pray he just donates it to me, and he ends up for some reason just going and like donating it to me. Like at this point, I think that Vullaby was like relatively useless. Well, it was like a decent win condition, but I think Ghastly was just so much more potent, and like Ferrocita wasn't that great that I don't know. Either way, he just gives me his Ghastly. He had definitely some like things to think about that turn, but he gave me Ghastly, which is great, and I didn't have to worry about that. And then he just goes into his Diglett. I don't want him subbing up and like beating me with some like Sucker Punch in my game, so I just click the knockoff, which is whatever, and he knocks me out. And this gives me my Staryu, and the thing is, I do reveal 91 HP, and as a result, that means I'm not 20 HP, and because I'm not 20 HP, he knows I'm defensive, and so I don't know if he's like Z-move or not on this team, but basically he cannot knock me out with Z-move, so I just go for a Scald, which is whatever, because I don't die. Let me show you. So Staryu defensive versus a Diglett. It's not going to be able to knock me out unless he like crits it or whatever, but nope. Nice. Okay, yeah. So this is not going to be able to knock me out. It only does like 18 max, and I'm at 19 HP. I'm at 19 HP, so like it's not like he can knock me out. So whatever. I go into my Staryu, and I just go for the Scald, and I get the burn on Ferrocita, which is like whatever. It doesn't really make a difference. But like at this point, with Ghastly gone, my Vullaby just kind of like wins. So I decide to make Vullaby my final win con or whatever. So I just spin the rocks, and I want to keep Vullaby as healthy as possible because I don't think I really need Staryu for much at this point. And I want to keep it healthy enough to live a... Well, no. Yeah, I want to be keeping it healthy enough to live a Rock Slide from Diglett just in case, or like, I don't know, whatever. As he goes for a Giga Drain, crits me, which kind of sucks, but don't think it really mattered in the end. And at this point, it came down to like hitting 90% moves. Like, am I going to hit the 90% Heat Wave, or am I going to hit the 90% High Jump Kick? And I don't think it really made a difference to me. So I just go into Mienfu because it's whatever. Hit the High Jump Kick. He goes into his Diglett, fishes for like a Rock Slide, flinch into like an Earthquake, and he does not get it. I just hit that High Jump Kick, and I hit the last High Jump Kick as well. So that's basically how I win that game. And it was actually an incredibly tough matchup because of the Ghastly, but we somehow managed to pull it out. And at this point, like, I'm 4-4, which kind of sucks because a lot of my losses have been from like preview. But either way, I think with this week we're up 7-1 right now. Actually Insult's playing right now versus Zachary. Interesting. Yeah, Insult's my team member, so hopefully he wins. And I think the only way we don't get into playoffs at this point is like by like win difference. If like the if we end up losing like next week 10-0, and then, or like we have to lose like by 2-8 or something, and then the opponents have to win like 7-3, of like some other team has to win 7-3. I don't know. Either way, it's like some ridiculous like odds that have to happen in order for like the us not to qualify for playoffs. So I think you guys should be seeing a little more content soon. But next week we have to play Taz, which is someone I regard as like the best LC player currently. So I'm really looking forward to playing against him. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this content. I know I didn't record this, but hopefully it's just as interesting and educational as my normal content. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys next week versus Taz. Peace.